Hey everyone, welcome back to StatueCon. It's Beth here with Fangirls Over 40. I'm standing behind the camera today because frankly, there's not enough room. Our topic this time is costuming on statues. So with us today, I'm going to have them introduce themselves and tell them what their speciality and expertise is. Go on.
Hello everybody, my name is Tim Hansen. I'm in charge of costuming for Sideshow Collectibles.
My name is Heather Dodge. I am a local seamstress here in St. Joe, and I specialize in bridal and formal wear alterations.
So my name is Dan Richard. I'm with Pure Arts, and I take care of all things e-commerce and marketing.
Right, so we have a beautiful statue here from Pure Arts, and Dan, take it away. Tell us who is she, and what is she wearing?
So this is Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village, and she's got the classic dress that she wears in the video game. Very famous character. She comes with a couple of nice accessories, including her clawed hand, and she also has one that holds a cigarette. She has rooted hair, glass eyes, the hat that does come off, her brooch, and of course the beautiful satin dress that's all hand-stitched, handmade by Seamtress.
As you do. So I'm going to turn this over to our motley crew, and they're going to talk about how you costume a statue, how you put it together, how it's a little different from costuming people, and the trials, tribulations, and basically hair-pulling experiences of all this. So go team, go.
I think one of the biggest challenges that I've noticed, so we actually have somebody that does do prototyping at our office that makes the dresses, makes accessories, everything else, and I think one of the biggest challenges is finding things that are the right scale. So you often will do a quarter scale piece or even a 1/6 piece where it's got a zipper, and the zipper clip or the zipper itself, the teeth are gigantic. That's a huge challenge. That's something that's not easy to find. It's getting better.
Yeah,
it's definitely
it is.
gotten better.
I agree. Yeah, and sometimes there's fun like sculptural ways to almost cheat that in a way. But when you need the function of an actual zipper, that's when you got to turn to the tiny stuff, and hopefully you can find something there. But to piggyback on what you're saying, scaling materials is truly a trick. And I think the best thing that we can do is we have to assist in the scale of what we're doing, and we have to kind of accentuate the best parts of the sculpture as well, right?
Yep.
So in all that, none of that stuff, you want to be careful not to throw off your scale. You got to make sure that tooth and twill and drape of everything you're dealing with, everything's working in conjunction to make the ultimate piece that we can do.
Exactly. And if you get one thing wrong, everyone kind of like will start honing in on that one little thing.
That's the one, and they'll remind you of it. No
Yeah,
problem.
absolutely. So, and it does go through a lot of iterations, of course, as you know, right?
Yes.
You got to try all kinds of different materials, and sometimes when you put it on the figure, like, oh, it doesn't really fold the way we need it to. It doesn't look the way it needs to. It went transparent, or it's not transparent enough.
Yeah. You know what else is a cool thing to kind of touch on, and I can see she definitely has. When dressing these things, another thing we don't take into consideration is sculpturally how we have to break these things down in order to even dress them in the first place. A lot of times we got to work with sculptors. I'm sure you know when you have a seamstress or the way you break something apart, that's pivotal to getting this thing to look right.
Like the arms, getting things over the arms, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it and I'm like, how does this open? How do you get this garment on her?
Yeah. So one of the main ways is, so it does open from the front, but you need to get the arms, so the arms actually detach, and then the whole thing slips over her head.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, because there's no opening back here. This is all sewn shut.
This is all sewn shut.
It's just, it's all decorative. It's not functional.
Correct. Yeah, on the back.
Yeah.
Now, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say on that, closures are a different thing that you have to consider. Other than zippers, you have things like micro Velcro, little snaps.
Yep.
Sometimes figures have to actually be hand sewn around the character as well.
Exactly right, and you have to be careful with those. Some of those micro Velcros are not the best either, so it can't really be a piece of clothing that gets a lot of pressure. It just has to be something that's closed and touched.
Right. Because those Velcro in general is. It doesn't move. It's stiff.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
stiff, and it'll buckle funky.
And the micro stuff is even like, it's so fine. The parts that grip together. It's not like regular Velcro, right? Where you got like kind of like the really stiff bristle that goes into the. It's so soft that it's almost not even Velcro. It's like just a really hard brush that kind of just holds together.
Yeah, just enough. Just enough.
Exactly. And I love how. One of the challenges, I think, is really getting the textures to work with what's underneath. So not this particular statue, but I saw a Superman statue where what made it or break it was the material had to stretch and become transparent enough so you'd get the silver sheen underneath.
Yes, yeah.
Like that, to me, that must be a very frustrating exercise. Like,
Yes,
that must be tough.
very much so. Well, it's hard, of course, when we're talking video games are one thing, as you know, but design-wise, doing comic books and then doing movie stuff, is we do have a lot of reference pictures of things. Sometimes we'll get swatches from the original thing, or be able to see it in person. So again, back to that idea of scaling something down, you want to make sure that everything's working. If anything's too big or throws the eye off, then you kind of lose the illusion of what you're trying to make.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think? How does it? Do you think this is harder or easier or about the same as making a dress if this was for a full-size person? I'm trying to turn it around.
How long would that take you to make, Heather, from scratch?
Some questions like if if you're creating a garment for a full-size person and you don't have, you're just going by a picture, you don't have a pattern to work from per se, you would use a dress form, you would drape, you've got a full-size dress form, you're using your fabrics and you're pinning them in place and doing the whole draping technique.
Yeah.
Is that how she came about this particular, like, did she, well, you said she had this.
So we were
in-house.
provided the body first,
Right,
and then we build it around the body.
Yeah.
And then so she's draping and cutting and piecing
Exactly,
and creating,
And the thing is, we need to pattern it out as well because we have to provide the pattern to the factory. And
Right,
so,
right.
here's the pattern for the
right.
clothing.
Well, once you drape it, does she drape it in a muslin? I mean, is she draping it in this fabric first, or is she draping it in a really lightweight?
No, it would be done in the lightweight material
so
first, just to
in
test
your-
it out. Yeah,
your
it'd be
standard
almost like
dressmaking.
it'd be almost
So it's
like
just on
the
a
same
smaller
material as like a
scale.
thin bed sheet,
Yes,
something like that.
Right. And then once you get that, once you do your drape and you get everything just so, then you take it apart, you create your pattern
Patterns,
pieces,
exactly.
and then
Yep.
you've got your pattern to go by.
And I saw
Right.
firsthand, this did go through several iterations before we finally got,
I'm sure it-
because we had to
yeah.
get, so the secret with her is obviously her body type is what is one of the things that makes her very famous. So we had to find a dress that hung off her, but also accentuated the body.
Right,
Yes.
right.
So that's why I did have to undergo quite a few changes just to get it, just right.
Right.
And then of course
Oftentimes-
you've got the weathering too. You have to
Yeah,
add to it.
that's another
Yeah.
cool element I was just going to touch on is then beyond that. But what really I think seals the deal with a lot of these things and grounds them very much, instead of looking like a brand new dress just off
Yes.
the shelf, she really has gone through a considerable amount of weathering.
Yes.
Which is a really cool process actually.
Someone went for a very long walk in a very muddy field.
Yeah, that's
okay.
right. Yeah.
Exactly.
She's also been through a lot of blood.
Yes.
Ooh, maybe splatters of blood would have
Like
been
real
kind of
blood.
cool. Or maybe not.
Like,
Aw,
yeah.
Just a few.
I'm just looking at how it's,
Yeah.
And what's great about this piece is, so no one really knows. We've come to a point where textures have become so good, translated whether it's real clothing or
Right.
it's resin.
Yeah.
Nobody's really sure. So somebody was looking at it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I went like this, and they, oh my goodness, that's material. And I'm like, yeah, it's material. I
Yeah.
thought it was polystone the whole time.
That is the thing with a lot of other things we've been looking at is you
Yeah.
can't from the distance you're like, oh, it looks really cool, and you get up and goes, it all moves. Okay, it's real.
Yeah.
well, we were looking at some of the different statues down here, and
Yeah.
I'm like, is that fabric? Oh no, that's resin. Oh, okay. Like you're right. You can't tell.
I think that right there, honestly, when we were at San Diego Comic-Con, we're floating around the booth, and that's the kind of reaction you almost want to get. Because if it was something that was so disproportionately out of scale, didn't fit right, threw the character sculpt off, anything, you could see that from a mile away.
Do you think fans are becoming, when say being on Reddit, being on Twitter, being on Instagram, where you put up ideas or they put up ideas and what they want? Are fans actually asking, hey, can we have more actual costumes on the statues?
I
Or
was literally gonna
going
start talking
for
about this,
resin?
yeah.
Because like some of the characters, I suppose most especially the ladies, we've got some pretty nice dresses. Resin's great, but I mean, come on, And I'll throw this one out there. Padme's Naboo dress. I mean, come on, no resin. You must make the dress, So, I mean, as you're looking around, are people saying that we'd like a mixture of the medias, on that?
So
Yeah.
I feel like it's old school thinking. A lot of people still do not like mixed media. They want just I'm sure you've seen this too.
Oh, many times.
Yeah, like there'll be a statue that's issued out, and people will be like, "Oh, "It's too bad it's mixed media." I honestly feel like that's old school thinking because way back when we started using mixed media, and I mean, kind of the sideshow, premium format, the pioneers of real material. Yeah, of course. But it could make or break a statue. I mean, lots of things do, but sometimes, especially back then, the scale was not quite right. So you would have stuff with big, huge zippers, but it didn't make any sense.
Right.
So I feel like it's a very knee-jerk reaction with older collectors. Like, no, I don't want mixed media. Maybe I'm wrong. Is it my personal opinion? And I was that way. I was exactly that way. But we're now at a point where the mixed media is so good. I actually find it better. So I'm all for it. So I don't know.
If you're a collector though, and you're you're going to keep this thing and then pass it on to your family, you know, when you're gone.
This is a very Midwestern way of thinking. I love it.
Well, I'm just thinking about the degradation. Fabric degrades.
Yes.
And so 30, 40, 50 years on this polyester, it's not going to be like it is today. It's going to, well, does that add to the value or does that detract from the value?
You know what? It's, to me, it's all about how you care for it too.
Absolutely.
It's how you care. If this is out in the sun and and you're touching it, and it's out in the sun, you have pets, if you smoke, that's all stuff. If the humidity levels are bad in your house, if you don't care for your statues, it's not going to do well. But I mean, I have collectibles that are 100 years old that are made out of material and look brand new.
So they're kept in their original box. They haven't been handled.
They're just well cared for. They're out of the box, but they're well cared for. They were in a display case. They were in a good humidity level. They were never in daylight. You know, things like that.
Right. Yeah. And that really is the key, I think, with some of these things, especially more recently. I mean, we have pieces from 20, 25 years ago that, you know, there are materials that are certainly more subject to degrading over time. You know,
Leather.
Fake leathers, exactly.
Fake leathers are
totally.
big.
I mean, those are very difficult things.
And legitimately so, because if you spend $2,000 on a piece with fake leather and then 10 years down the road it's starting to peel apart, that's not good. That's not good.
For sure, yeah, that's hard. And that goes back to the caring and the, you know, kind of careful consideration that a lot of these things, I think, deserve, especially if you want to have pieces that will pass down over the years. Sure, I mean, there is that argument, I suppose, to look at it that way as far as grades or material.
I'm just wondering if that is maybe the motivation behind that. I don't want mixed media.
It could be. I'm sure it's one of them.
It really varies, absolutely, Some people just think, you know,
it's fiddly. It's too fiddly.
There's an aspect of wanting the control of something all sculpted, of course, and again with ZBrush, and that they're able to emulate textiles, you know, in a way different way these days, which are very impressive. But I think the more, honestly, the more information that we get out about actual costuming on these things and how much work goes into it, how much consideration there is here. I mean, me being here, I've interacted with so many people with a lot of our pieces where they're asking questions that aren't things that they've necessarily even thought of before. How much consideration are you guys really putting into these things? And it's really, it goes beyond the tailoring and it goes beyond just the sewing of it. It's all about cementing this thing together as a singular unit to look as beautiful as it really can. And I think you know, for this piece in particular, you have a beautiful drape to it. I love how much, and that's another thing for me personally. I love the uniqueness of cut and sew pieces. I love them because when you look at people's collections, you're not seeing the same thing repeated. You really do get some uniqueness to them. And some of the pieces that we've been doing will implement wire, which gives people the ability to kind of close it any way they want to. You know, you can put it anywhere in your home that way.
It makes it unique to that person who bought it, and they can change it.
Like
That's really good.
I've got the Black Adam, statue, which I know not many people have. It's not exactly a favorite. I'm a huge rock fan. So,
it was a great movie.
It was very well executed.
Oh yeah, and I mean the posable cape. I love the posable cape. That's literally my favorite. Aside from the dead-on accurate head, that head is insane. But the cape, I love it. So I do love posable capes. Love it.
That's awesome. See, and also back to that point, we're talking about film. We talked about Superman a little bit ago. You and I had a great conversation the other day, and we've seen multiple versions of Superman at this point. We've seen sculpted and we've seen costume.
Yeah.
And there is a very distinct difference between getting the correct effect on Henry Cavill's particular suit, which the layering is pivotal there, and I don't think you can get it right.
And we were talking about how there are high-end, very high-end statues of the Snyder suit, but because it's not real material, it's painted and airbrush shadows. It doesn't look right. It doesn't have the same. It doesn't look right.
It just can't. Honestly.
When you were talking earlier about sourcing materials, like I'm sure like textures and weaves and herringbones and plaids and anything that would be really hard to find, to source.
To scale.
To at some point, are you weaving your own?
I wouldn't say weaving, but I will say, the advent of again, how much technology is able to be implemented now. And I look to Hot Toys all the time for what they're able to do with materials.
Which is amazing.
It is remarkable, honestly. And certainly from my perspective, being in this industry for as long as I have and seeing those changes over the years. We did a character called Kylo Ren many years ago, and we were going back and forth with Lucasfilm on that. We had the original swatch in-house, and I was looking everywhere for that weave. It's not a thing that exists. They had it woven, they bought every ounce of that stuff, and you couldn't get it anywhere. Certainly at scale was impossible. So their notes to us back, and I had sent them several swatches, they're like, none of these are going to work. We had to make it. So everything became printed.
Yeah.
So then we scan the original stuff, we get a screen print the actual stuff, which is like a 2x3. It's a very unique pattern on him. And it has a particular luster to it, which again, another thing that a textile really can sing at when you get it right, that's it. Yeah, and it was such a cool thing to be able to achieve, and then you can take a look at it.
So you're able to achieve the look by printing
Yes.
a picture of it onto.
Sure. Yep.
And those, sometimes it's layers of screen printing, you know, and different depending if we're doing stretchable superhero suits, right? Yeah, it really is. Like the technology has come to such an interesting place now. There is 3D printing on materials. There's different sort of inks that you can use now. It's really
it gives it the texture, and they bake it.
Yeah.
So the company that I work with that makes my cosplays, my Superman suits, they are licensed to make textiles for superheroes. So they're licensed by Marvel, by DC with Warner Brothers, and it's literally giant screen printing templates that go through a massive oven, and it just bakes the texture right onto the textiles. Unbelievable.
Right, and stretchable links.
And it's fully stretchable. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
That's the cool stuff. Right
Yeah,
there.
it's really, really cool.
That's a long way from tights and a leotard and a cape, man.
Oh yeah,
It really is.
That's
I
the way
have
of
to
the
say.
superhero suit,
Yeah.
especially these days. Yeah.
So just before we go, I want to ask each of you a particular question. So, seeing the two of you are involved in the industry, you've just dipped your toe in, Heather.
I'm just
Baby steps.
beginning to.
Yeah, understand and have fun. By the way, Heather is my best friend since we were
Mind-blowing.
17 years. So I thought I'd drag her in with me, on this one.
Well done.
So my question is, I know that you can't say much, some of you guys, but we'll just say,
here we go.
your next statue, will it have cloth on it?
I will tell you right now, but very proudly and very excitedly, that Sideshow has a very big lineup of a lot of fabric-heavy pieces coming out
Good.
soon, and we're very proud of what we're doing. We're circling back to some old licenses and getting some new ones, and I think people are going to be really excited what we got coming.
You heard it here. Go on, Dan.
You know what? I would echo that exact answer. Maybe not the next release, but we have some exciting pieces coming up. We just started in the last year our Prestige series, which is half scale, and it's all real leather, real metal. Even the chainmail and our Garrow pieces, handmade chainmail. So yeah, those are all real. Those are absolutely
More, I mean, you're not, people collecting stuff, they're not going to sit there and touch all the time, but it is nice once in a while to pass your finger over the things you own and go, wow, that is real. You
I
know,
almost feel like it just elevates it.
Yeah,
when
exactly.
When it's real.
That's
Yeah.
great, honestly, hearing that from yourself. Who's relatively new to this, but
Yeah.
it really means
Yeah.
a lot.
I could see where. Yeah.
so all that time is making those clothes for the Barbie dolls. It's going to come in handy, maybe.
And you know what the thing is too, is with all these updated techniques, you never know what'll trigger someone to say, you know what, I want to start collecting this.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
also.
Yeah, very true.
I got out of collecting for several years, even though I was in the industry, and I saw for the first time in person Queen Studios silicone piece with stubble. And I touched it, and I was like, this is the most insane thing I've ever seen in collecting. And literally that month, I got back into collecting, and I actually have that piece in my collection.
Oh, man.
Well,
Epic,
the
epic
trigger to begin collecting, it's something that resonates deep within you,
Yeah.
whether it's from a past experience you had, and then you see this thing and you're like, oh, that triggered something good. That created a warm fuzzy for me, and I want this.
And then it's all crazy from there.
It is. It goes crazy very
Right.
quickly.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the outer beautiful, pretty version of the thing.
Then it's money, space, time,
Time,
patience,
dealing with artists,
money.
lost packages. You know.
Oh,
pissed off customers. That's another video for another.
so just for all of you out there who really may not be, I suppose, fandom fans, but maybe you sew or you like arts and crafts and things like that. Statues just aren't stone. They just aren't, made of just hard things. They have lots of textures and things to them. So I want to thank our three guests for coming to us today.
Pleasure.
And
Pleasure,
thank you for joining us, everybody. And again, we have to remember, may the force be with you on the way to Mordor with your letter from Hogwarts, and live long and prosper. All right.
Thanks, guys. Take care.